Hello there and welcome back. Today I'll be sharing a fun Thanksgiving card featuring products from catscrappiness.com. For today's card, I started out using the stitched border dies by Lawn Fawn to add some detail to the edges of my card. I really wanted a nice thick border along those edges, so I went ahead and used all four of the dies together. Now I'm going to take that top piece and I'm just going to do a little bit of ink smushing, and I'm really trying to concentrate the color more towards the top, and then I'll kind of have it fade out as it gets lower on the card. Now I've just taken a piece of packaging that I got from a stamp set, and I'm using this to kind of add my ink where I want it. It's a little bit easier to control the ink when you do it this way. Now that first color I used was Ripe Persimmon Distress ink, and now I am moving on to Walnut Stain, and then I will also add just a tiny bit of Evergreen Bough. I do have my mustard seed ink out and I thought I was going to use that, but when all was said and done I felt like that yellow would just kind of get lost. So here I'm just going to smush on a little bit of the Evergreen Bough. I chose these particular colors of distress inks based on the paper that I had selected from Lawn Fawn's Perfectly Plaid Fall paper pack. Now here I am going to go ahead and ink blend a little bit of the Walnut Stain just on that top edge. I really wanted it to be a little bit darker towards the top there. And then I've just spritzed that with a little bit of water to add a little bit more of a distressed look, and then I've dabbed that off with my Lawn Fawn stamp chamois. I just love this Turkey Talk stamp set from Neat and Tangled. I think it's so cute and it has some really cute sentiments in it. So I'm just going to stamp this using my Memento Tuxedo Black ink, and I'll be using my Copic markers to color this in. Now I am not a great Copic artist, so I am just doing some really super basic coloring with these Copics. Usually I only use 2 colors, 3 at the most here on the body, but you could really color this little guy in with any coloring medium that you prefer to use. Now that I have that all colored in, I'm going to go ahead and add some shimmer. I originally tried to use this Wink of Stella clear glitter brush, and it is so dry, I just need to chuck it. So I did go ahead and switch to my Spectrum Noir glitter brush, and I'll just go ahead and add some little dots of white here and there just to add a little bit of extra detail. And then I've gone ahead and cut this out off camera. I didn't want to bore you with fussy cutting. And I did have such a hard time cutting out those little legs, so I just went ahead and cut them off. And before I attach the turkey to my card front, I will go ahead and stamp just those legs directly on the panel there. Now here you'll see I'm just using some vellum to emboss my sentiment. I'm using the Basil 40-pound vellum. And I really wanted to try the vellum adhesive from Glue Arts that I got on catscrappiness.com. It says that it is completely invisible. So I'll go ahead and I've just trimmed off a little square of that and I'm just applying it to the back of my vellum. I used a bone folder to kind of apply it. I don't think that was really necessary, but I did it. And then I'll just go ahead and cut around that. And then is all you have to do is just peel off one more backing sheet when you adhere it. And it really works. It's completely invisible. So I'm really excited to finally have some vellum adhesive that does not show through the vellum. Now I'm just going to start assembling my card. And I'm just adding some foam tape to the back of that little turkey. You can see where I stamped his legs on the card front. And then I'll arrange those how I want and go ahead and press those firmly down. Lawn Fawn has some of my favorite plaid papers for card making. I love this paper pad. It is the Perfectly Plaid Fall 6x6 paper pad, and I do prefer the 6x6 paper pads for card making just because the print is scaled down, so it's a little bit more what's the word, detailed or petite? I don't know what the right word is for that. And here you'll see I'm just going to add some baker's twine to the top of my card front, and then I like to cut my bow separately, and I'll adhere that as soon as I'm done assembling the card. So I'm just going to take a little strip of this plaid paper and I'll attach that to the card base, and this is just going to kind of peek out from behind those two panels, which are going to be raised up on some foam tape. I have quite the little Mod Podge of foam tape going on here. It doesn't look pretty, but it gets the job done. So I'll go ahead and secure that panel down, and then I'll attach that little bottom piece that has the stitched detail. And then I just need to trim off that little section that was hanging over the edge and attach my bow. And then I am going to apply some sequins using the Autumn Sequin Mix from Cat Scrappiness. I just love how these sequins match that paper perfectly. They are a perfect match for it. So I'm just going to kind of scatter some here and there just to add a little bit of extra sparkle. You guys know how indecisive I am with my sequins. I can spend forever trying to place those sequins in just the right places. And I'll go ahead and attach that with some multi-medium in the matte finish. And I usually like to top my sequins with a little bit of stickles, and today I'm going to switch that up a little bit, and I'm using some liquid pearls in the color Bisque. And that completes my card for today. As always, the supplies I used on this card are linked in the description box below. Thank you so much for stopping by, and we'll see you next time.